To welcome those of you watching Minnesota Tampa Bay, the Bears at Jacksonville, to Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 2-0 San Diego. We're in the first quarter with 8:15 left. 3rd and 4, San Diego ball. Gilbert out of there will get the first in Dallas territory to about the 47-yard line. Bates stripped him up.
That's not a bad move by a quarterback. He just puts his head down. You're going to see a stunt here, a stunt here. They get Gail Gilbert here, and then they got the rush coming. He sees a lane and just goes whap right through it. He just puts his head down and runs through it. But you see the stunt there in the left, and now he sees it. He sees the hole right there, puts his head down, and just runs right through it. That's the way the fullback used to tell him, just put your head down and run through the hole.
When you see the stunt?
Yeah. He just put his head down and ran right through the hole, put his head up, then he put his head back down again.
Mean on first down. Chase out of bounds. Here is the safety, the only scoring so far. Aikman back to throw after an interception by Larry Brown.
And that was big Reuben Davis. The left defensive tackle came around on a stunt straight up the middle. One of the things that the Cowboy defense wanted to do was spill Means to the sideline. They just did that on that last play.
2nd and 12. Gilbert back to throw. Hit by Maryland. The pass is going to be recovered. The fumble, if it is a fumble, by the Cowboys, Russell Maryland. Shante Carver also involved. He's got the ball.
If his arm was going forward, it's a pass. If his arm wasn't going forward, it's not a pass.
Well, they're coming off. It must have been a fumble.
That's a fumble. What they're saying is his arm wasn't going forward. He's hit by Russell Maryland right there, and that's right. Russell Maryland got his left hand up there. The arm wasn't going forward, so that's a fumble and a recovery by the Cowboys.
That gentleman can sleep wherever he wants to. San Diego Zoo, of course, one of the most renowned anywhere.
How'd you like to come up, break the huddle, be a center, and look at that as a nose tackle?
I wouldn't be a center very long. Here's Aikman. Just does get it out of there, but does to Emmitt Smith, who's hit immediately by Sean Gale. He's really been playing well.
Yeah, this is the thing that really kills coaches. Look at this. 16 giveaways have resulted in 55 points. That's the second most in the NFL. And we're talking to Bobby Ross. He said that's the thing. You know that we're not getting the turnovers. We're giving the turnovers. And he said we're doing it in every area. No, there's not just one guy or one area. We're just turning the ball over.
They just did it again. That's how Dallas got the ball where they've got it. Here's Aikman. Irving. At about the San Diego 24, shoved out of bounds by Terrence Shaw.
I'll tell you what, you talk about a rookie. Terrence Shaw is a rookie. You talk about a guy having to play a tough position, playing corner in this league, and then you get out there and you have to go against a guy like Michael Irvin.
There's the Dallas offensive line. Big and good. Emmitt Smith, Darrell Johnston, the runners. Kevin Williams, there's a question about him, whether he'd make it or not, but he has. That's Kevin Williams in motion. Aikman, Irving, inside the 5 to about the 3. Terrence Shaw again.
That's who they said they were going to work on, is the rookie corner, Terrence Shaw, with Michael Irvin.
Here's the Charger defense. Irvin, by the way, has tied the club mark for consecutive games with a catch. Had been held by Tony Hill. The linebackers led by Junior Seau, Gibson and Bush, and in the secondary, Shaw, Orlando, Sean Gale, and Dwayne Harper, the other cornerback. 1st and goal, Dallas at the 4.
And those two passes were both against Terrence Shaw.
Ron Stone as an eligible receiver. That's Emmitt Smith, and he didn't get anywhere.
They found something out here in this left. Here's Michael Irvin here. And again, he's going against Terrence Shaw. This is the second one in a row. And you see, he just comes off. Michael Irvin is so big and so quick, catches the ball so well, uses his body so well. And he and Troy Aikman are almost perfect together.
Almost.
The only thing is Michael Irvin's shirt tail's hanging out today. I have no idea why.
I've never seen it. Emmitt Smith again. Flag on the play. Emmitt gets in the end zone for a touchdown, but a penalty marker down.
That was a heck of a run. You know, you get in there behind Larry Allen, the right guard, and Eric Williams, the right tackle. That is some power over there. Emmitt Smith still celebrating in that end zone.
Dick Hantak.
Offside. Defense number 97. Line up in the neutral zone. Penalty is declined.
Touchdown.
Yeah, here's where you want to run the ball, right here. Here's Larry Allen. Here's Eric Williams. To me, two of the best offensive linemen in the game. And look, they double team. And when they double team, I'll guarantee you, you're going to get knocked backwards, you're going to get turned over, and you're going to get put right on your back.
Bonio for the extra point. It's good, and Dallas has the lead. There's a flag on the extra point. Emmitt Smith, by the way, is now the Cowboys' all-time touchdown leader. That was his 87th. He and Tony Dorsett had been tied at 86.
Emmitt Smith keeps every one of those footballs.
Defense number 40. Lined up in the neutral zone prior to the snap. Extra point is good. We will penalize 5 yards on the kickoff.
Well, that was an ugly series for the Chargers. They have the fumble, and then after that, they have 2 penalties. Emmitt Smith gives it. You block like that, man, you can spike it for me.
And I'll go get it. Back at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Dallas 7, San Diego 2. Aikman tackled for a safety, but led the offensive unit back quickly, and Emmitt Smith scored the touchdown. Coleman deep for San Diego. Bonio's kick is going to be high and short this time at the 7. But the coverage is good again. David Lang, second time he's been down. Big Eric Williams. What a block he got on that touchdown by Smith.
Sanders said to Clayton Holmes, Pat, it worked. He was over there and he's talking to him and said, you have to have a bad memory. They're going to work on you.
You know what he did too? Changed sides.
I know it. Larry Brown went to that side. He came over here on this side. They're still looking for him. Clayton Holmes had been over on the right side. Then they move him over to the left side of the offense. They're still going to work on him. He was beaten by that play, and again, it was just a short throw. This is the Chargers' 4th turnover.
Gilbert just couldn't get the ball there, or didn't get the ball there. 7-2. Dallas takes over. In the hat, with the rose on her hat, is Gina Seau, Junior's wife, who's expecting their second child at any moment.
Yeah, she was expecting it yesterday.
Yeah.
I said, well, will she be in the hospital today? And Junior said, no, if she doesn't have the baby, she's going to be at the game today.
And there she was.
She may have the baby at the game.
Aikman gets it to Jay Novacek, and Novacek gets outside the 25, close to 26, and gets the Dallas first down.
You know, Gail Gilbert there, he's had 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and a fumble. His first half, the Chargers have really been playing pretty well. They've had good pass protection.
And some of the guys have been open too.
Yeah, and he just hasn't gotten the ball to him. It looked like they were checking his jaw there.
Emmitt Smith. Not much. All right, now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
The Pat Redskins trying to sweep the Cardinals for the first time since '91. Gus Farratt play action, deep crossing pattern. Bradshaw's favorite route to Henry Ellert. Washington nursing a 4-point lead. Back to Pat and John.
Back at Jack Murphy Stadium, Pat Summerall, John Madden. Dallas has the ball, 2nd and 9 at their own 27. Chargers fake the blitz. Darrell Johnston. Even in San Diego.
Wherever he goes, that moose call comes out. That's the thing. If you ever want to name a kid and you want him to be popular, just give him a name that has 2 O's together or a bunch of U's in it. You know, because they do the same thing here for Papunu.
Yep.
So either Moose, either name him like Moose, Zoo, or Papu.
How about Zoo?
That'd be a good one. Anything like that has 2 O's together, then you'll never know if you're being cheered or booed as you go through life.
That'd be a good way to go through life. Aikman gets it to Irvin. And you talk about being on the same page. Those two are in the same paragraph.
Yeah, and it starts right on the line of scrimmage, too. You know, Big Eric Williams keeps his guy on the line of scrimmage because that's where you're going to throw that slant. If you're going to throw that slant, this guy better block and keep this guy right here. You're going to take the quick drop. You're going to hit the slant right in here, but you can't let a lot of penetration come in right. See, right there. You keep that guy right there in the line of scrimmage. That gives you the lane to get to Michael Irvin, caused by the right tackle, Eric Williams.
Here's Aikman. Again complete, this time to Novacek. Aikman was under pressure, got rid of it just in time.
I think Aikman's perfect.
Ball comes out of there in a hurry, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he's thrown an incomplete pass yet. They're still working on Gail Gilbert there. But watch him. I mean, that thing, he just keeps it up there and just boom. And, you know, you talk about being on the same page with Michael Irvin. He's also on the same page with Jay Novacek. And then the other thing you have is a big offensive line. And the other thing you have is you can hand it to Emmitt Smith. That's where Aikman is perfect.
8 out of 8. Hard to improve on that. First and 10.
I don't remember any going awry.
To Irvin, to about the 32. Junior Seau made the tackle.
Yeah, watch this pass protection. You know, Larry Allen is quickly becoming one of the best guards in the league, and I think that Eric Williams, you know, when he gets back, I think he's the best offensive lineman in all of football. See how they just pass protect? They know where Troy Aikman's going to be, and they just keep their guys away. If they want to go beyond, they'll push them beyond. If they want to stay in front, they'll turn them out.
2nd and 4. Emmitt Smith. Emmitt breaking tackles, and Smith down inside the Charger 20 to about the 17. Bo Orlando finally brought him down.
Well, you know, it's just a matter of time with Emmitt Smith. I mean, you never look, you know, he starts, it's kind of slow, and then boom, he just kind of keeps going and going and going. You know, and they'll just wear you down. That big offensive line. Watch Nate Newton. He comes out there, turns, he gets this guy one little pop with that shoulder. I mean, Nate is so big, and his arms are so big, and he's so strong and powerful that he just kind of flexes that arm. Boom! And the guy goes right to his back.
The guy just disappeared.
That's the way to pull. You're going to pull, do something like that.
Aikman fires to Novacek.
Yeah, I don't know that saying they got to the guys in a zone. I don't know exactly what that means. But if that is a word, like some guy being in a zone, Troy Aikman injured his calf. And then I think that calf injury put him in a zone, because we saw him last week.
Yeah.
He was almost perfect. And today he's almost perfect.
2 tight ends. The Cowboys line up. That's Novacek on the move. And a handoff to Darrell Johnston. Flag on the play. Johnston inside the 5.
They don't do that very often. I mean, they have one runner in there, and that's Emmitt Smith, and Darrell Johnston's a blocker. They don't cut the moose loose much, but they just cut the moose loose there. But Troy even looks more relaxed, I mean, since he got that calf. I mean, there may be something that goes from the calf to the brain.
Defensive end, line up in the neutral zone at the snap. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
That's 3 times the Chargers have been called for lining up in the neutral zone.
Well, it's a thing that's been hurting them all year. This year is the penalties and the turnovers, and that's what they've had this first half. I mean, offensive and defensive penalties.
1st and goal at the 3. Dallas already leading 7-2. Trying for more. Smith Won't get more this time. Lost a little bit.
That's what they want to do, is you want to get him going sideways. I mean, anytime Emmitt Smith can have his shoulders squared to the line of scrimmage, a lot of bad things can happen to your defense. When you can get his shoulders perpendicular to the line of scrimmage, then you have a chance.
Well, then he can only go one way. When he's square, he can go either way, and he does it as well as anyone ever has.
I think he does it better than, on that cutback stuff and slashing. I think he does it better than anyone.
11th play of this drive coming up. Novacek's the man in motion. Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith. And Smith fights his way down close. No signal from the officials yet.
But that was that cutback we were talking about right there. He started to the middle of the right, and then somehow he just jumped back to the left. Got in there again behind Nate Newton. Watch him. You see, he starts here. Now, again, it's where the ball is when your knees go down. See his knees down there. You can't see the ball, but I guess the ball wasn't in when his knees went down.
He is almost like wading through people.
And those people he's wading through are being knocked backwards by a good offensive line.
Here he is again, Emmitt Smith. And he's going to score for Dallas his second rushing touchdown of the day.
There he switches, saying, now we're talking. Now we got something going here. Troy Aikman was 6 out of 6 for 60 yards on that drive. Emmitt Smith just capped it off. But again, I mean, and you say this all the time, you have to give credit to this offensive line. They just took over. On this drive, the Cowboy offensive line took over.
Emmitt Smith kept the ball and took it to the sideline.
And Troy Aikman is still limping. I mean, that calf muscle isn't better, but if you're going to play with a bad calf, you better have good pass protection. He has.
And a good arm. Boniol's extra point is good. It's 14-2. Aflac trivia question this week. What NFL player has been in the last 5 Super Bowls? The last 5. 14-2 Dallas.
Now that is a funny movie.
Yes.
We're talking about Utes.
Utes. What's a Ute? Andre Coleman stopped at about the 27 where the Chargers take over. Billy Davis made the stop. 3:50 left to play in the first half in San Diego.
You're going to win the big games. You got to win it with your stars. If I see one more 5-yard pass route run this year, I'm going to lose what little hair I got left on my head.
The players.
This is the best offensive line of football. Deion Sanders is the difference. Money equals player.
The pregame team.
Call in the family, bring in the dogs, listen to what I got to say. I get my rush every week from this show.
Fox NFL Sunday. Coverage begins 12 noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
Dallas 14, San Diego 2 in the second quarter. Again, the Aflac trivia question. What NFL player has been in the last 5 Super Bowls?
Would a hint be that he's thrown 3 interceptions and a fumble in the first half of this game?
Would a hint be he's playing in this game? That's he right there. Gail Gilbert was with Buffalo as they lost 4 straight, in San Diego last year when they lost.
Yeah, one of the interesting things is Tony Martin is the leading receiver in the AFC, right, and he hasn't caught a pass yet.
Gilbert back to throw. Pass deflected. He was trying to drop it off to Natron Means. Hit by Maryland.
Yeah, the Chargers had some chances, but they just self-destructed. If you look on their first possession, they had an interception. And second, then they had a fumble, and then they had an interception, then they had an interception. So on 4 possessions, they've ended in 3 interceptions and a fumble.
Three wide receivers now for the Chargers. Ronnie Harmon in motion. Gilbert to throw. Gets it up the middle to Harmon. Yeah, there's certain backs, certain guys like that. Meggett was one. You mentioned him. Harmon's one. That always seem to find the hole in a defense.
Yeah, well, you know, once they come out, they work that middle. They're usually running some kind of option or scat pattern that they usually get one-on-one. They don't get the best defenders covering them. And if the guy plays them outside, they usually have an option to run inside or vice versa.
Natron Means into Dallas territory. Stopped by Brock Marion. Darren Woodson down in the pile also.
You know, and that's not a bad combination when you have a Ronnie Harmon coming in, and he does all the pass receiving in the offense, and then you have Natron Means, and he does all the running. So Means can just worry about this stuff, like this I formation. You get Papunu giving a lead for you, you know, cutting back, bringing that ball over like that, doing the running part. Then Harmon takes care of the pass receiving part. Means doesn't catch any passes, and Harmon really doesn't run often, although he is now.
There's Harmon running. Doesn't quite get the first down, about a yard shy. And we'll get the 2-minute warning. Dallas leads San Diego 14-2 in San Diego.
See that pass?
Excuse me.
Did you see that pass?
Yes, I did.
That wasn't Troy Aikman, was it?
I looked away quickly. No, it wasn't.
Knocked the guy out of the window, though.
Yeah. Dale Gilbert, the ball carrier. Barry Switzer looking into a bright sunlight.
I think this could be a big thing for the Chargers if they could get a score here before halftime. Any kind of score.
Gilbert, down he goes. He felt them go by. Tolbert and Haley.
Maybe it'll be a big series for him if it just doesn't end in a interception or a fumble.
Cowboy player down.
You said Haley came from one side and Tony Tolbert came from the other side, and Gail Gilbert tried to split him, but he went right to the ground.
Chad Hennings was back there with him, and he stayed down.
Look at Chad Hennings walking off. You wonder how he ever in his life could have flown a jet airplane.
How did he get into a jet airplane? It was a big plane, obviously.
Yeah, but I didn't think in the Air Force they'd take guys that big.
Well, he told us, I think, last year that he had eaten himself out of the cockpit.
Yeah, what was that? I mean, he flew some kind of plane that had hog in it. I remember that.
Warthog.
Warthog.
Yeah.
You see right here at the end, Gilbert just misses this, and I think that he got leg whipped by his own guy. Right there at the end of the play. Could have got like kicked in the thigh or the hamstring.
A bruise. 2nd and 15. Gilbert's back to throw. Throwing a screen pass out to Ronnie Harmon. Good play by Jim Swans. He closed in a hurry, didn't he?
Yeah, Swans had to. You know, he's in there in that nickel situation, and if you're going to be a nickel guy, you have to be able to run, you have to be able to cover, and then like we talked about before, you have to be able to tackle in the open field.
3rd and 16. Swarms on Gilbert.
One thing about Charles Haley, he doesn't do a lot of celebratory stuff, does he?
No.
Charles is just going to say, okay, it's about time I get a sack here. Harry Swain, you see, kind of just lulls him to sleep and then just runs right by him. He didn't give him much of a move at all.
So quick.
I think, you know, instead of putting his hands up there, he just kept his hands down. That kept Harry Swain's down. And I think he just kind of lulled him to sleep. The old street move, and then went pop, just right around him.
Dallas timeout. They have one left.
Now you can say what you want to say about Charles Haley, whether he practices, he doesn't practice, he has a bad back, he should be there. But if the Cowboys don't have Charles Haley playing for them, they don't go to any Super Bowl. I mean, he's the guy, to me, that the whole defense is built around him, raising havoc, rushing the passer, getting in the backfield, running line stunts, whatever. In fact, last night I'm taking a walk. Pat, listen to this. I'm taking a walk,
Yep.
and here comes a couple with a baby. And they're big Cowboy fans, they say. And they have the little girl, and she's like 2 years old, and they want a picture, and they take her out, and their favorite player is Charles Haley, and the daughter is named Haley. They called the little girl Haley.
Clayton Holmes handles the punt. And Dallas will take over at their own 17. Next, St. Louis Rams. They're in first place.
Look at this. Who would have thought that after 6 games that the St. Louis Rams would be in first place and the San Francisco 49er, world champion San Francisco 49ers, would be tied for second place in that division?
They lost to the Colts earlier today. On first down, Aikman will throw it. Pass is caught by Irvin, off to the races, and out of bounds at about the 45. Bo Orlando got him out of bounds. Don't forget, coming up at the half, the Dockers halftime report. J.B. Terry, Howie, and Jimmy scores and highlights. Some surprises around the league today in the early games.
Well, we just talked about one of them.
Yeah.
The 49ers losing, I guess. You know, and the 49ers were coming off a bye. I guess Steve Young was sick or something, but the 49ers sure didn't look like the 49ers a little part of the game I saw.
On first down, Aikman's going to throw it. Dumps it to Darrell Johnston. Incomplete. And that 3-yarder is the first one incomplete, I think.
I was going to say, I don't think that he's thrown an incomplete pass yet, and that's the thing that he didn't want to do. You see, he had to move a little, and now his leg is starting to bother him, because he said a week ago, he said, if I have to run, I can't play in this game. I'm going to be out of there. And his offensive line did such a good job, along with Darrell Johnson, he didn't have to run at all. That time he had to run, and it looks like that calf's bothering him.
2nd and 10. Looked okay coming back. Outside Darrell Johnston. And the Moose is out of bounds in Charger territory at their 48. Rodney Harrison knocked him out of bounds.
Of course, when you're 12 out of 13, how much can anything be bothering you? But I really do. I think that this calf muscle has really relaxed Troy Aikman a little, and he is in that thing if it's a zone.
Sassa's the injured Charger. Summerall with John Madden. Dallas 14, San Diego 2. The Chargers got their safety first. And the Cowboys have come back with 2 touchdowns as Aikman's been almost perfect. 1 incompletion so far. The injured Chargers, Sassa still down. Split wide right is Kevin Williams. To the left is Michael Irvin. 3rd and short. Aikman to throw it. Whips it outside to Emmitt Smith. And Emmett will get his first down and get out of bounds. That's a good example of just what you were talking about.
Yeah, and it's a good example of what Emmitt Smith is, too. You know, I mean, they always say, who's the best running back? And if you go pure runner, they say Barry Sanders. But Emmitt Smith is a running back that you leave in every down. I mean, if you want to run it, Emmitt runs it. If you want to pass it, you know, he can go out there and catch a pass. And if you need a blocker, he'll block as well as any of them. There's Ernest there, nervously waiting to call the next play.
On first down, here's Aikman to throw it again. With time, deflected. Maybe Leslie O'Neal got a hand on it. It was intended for Darrell Johnston.
That was Leslie O'Neal. You wonder why he wasn't out there and, you know, in the pass rush. Here's the coverage on Michael Irvin. See if you can get your hands on him and grab him and get him up around the neck and hold on to him, then you have a chance to cover. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. I mean, you could not only, for that play, you could not only throw a flag, you could turn your arrest him for that.
2nd down and 10. And Aikman to throw it again. Whips it in the direction of Kevin Williams. Incomplete. Williams and Harper
I think that's the first pass that Troy Aikman has thrown to Williams today.
I think it is.
And maybe it's the first pass that they've thrown at number 28, Dwayne Harper. Seems like they've been working the middle and working against Terrence Shaw, the other corner. Staying away from Harper was probably the best defensive backs on this Charger team.
3rd and 10. 3 wide receivers for the Cowboys this time. Williams comes out of the slot. Aikman chased from behind, just does get rid of it, incomplete.
And he was hit by Leslie O'Neal just as he threw that ball. Leslie O'Neal's going to come from his backside right here. You see Aikman starts to move out to his right. Here comes 91 Leslie O'Neal. He dives, and just as Aikman throws him, he grabs that right leg. Now, this is the thing that he can't do. He wants to stay in the pocket because right now he can't run. He can't take too many of those in this game.
No, he can't. Jim back to punt it. Andre Coleman deep. Ball takes a bounce back toward the Cowboys, and they down it at about the 16-yard line. Don't forget to stay with us at the half. The Dockers halftime report with J.B. Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. Scores and highlights from around the league.
I tell you, it just shows, in a half how tough it is in this league when you lose your starting quarterback and how important these guys are. I mean, you see what Troy Aikman does as a starter. Stan Humphries for the Chargers can't play. Gail Gilbert comes in here, and this first half has just been a nightmare for him.
Gail Gilbert's been around a long time, but still, there's nothing like having your lead horse in there. The Chargers case, Stan Humphries.
And Humphries hurt that rotator cuff last Monday night, and he says he has range of motion, just no strength in that right arm.
At the half, Dallas leads San Diego 14-2. We're at Jack Murphy Stadium, and that spectacular weather has joined us at the stadium as well, where Dallas leads San Diego 14-2. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, it hasn't been so much a matter, well, Aikman has been sensational so far, but it's been a self-destruct job by the Chargers.
Yeah, that's the thing. Any time you have to play your backup quarterback, the Chargers have to play Gail Gilbert today. You worry about him forcing things. You worry about him being nervous. You worry about, turnovers. And, of course, he had them. I mean, he had 4 turnovers in the first half. He threw 3 interceptions, and he had a fumble. And the Cowboys, of course, got all their points from that. So when you're playing a team like the Cowboys, you have to make something happen. You have to score. You can't force things. And it's a tough thing to do. If they had Stan Humphries, it would have been tough for the Chargers.
Well, you can't improve Gail Gilbert's arm. What can you do? Well, you can look at statistics and stop turning the ball over. Here's what happened in the first half.
Well, you can see, that's a big thing because they were able to run the ball. I mean, the Chargers had 76 yards of rushing. They were able to throw it a little, 92 yards, but everything goes right down to here. 4 turnovers in the first half. Then, of course, points off turnovers for the Cowboys, and that's where the score is 14-2.
They sort of go together, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And then the other bad thing for the Chargers that goes together is turnovers and penalties. I mean, that's a bad combination that, just drive coaches nuts, where you have a lot of turnovers or you have a lot of penalties. But for the Chargers, they've had both.
And especially when they get three turnovers, for lining up in the neutral zone. I mean, that's easy to correct.
Yeah, all you have to do is look at the ball.
Harney's kickoff. Chases Clayton Holmes back about a yard deep in the end zone. He dropped it when he came out, picked it up. Gets out to about the 17 or 18. Got a good bounce, fortunately.
Yeah, we always talk about the wedge, Pat, on the kickoff return. Here's the wedge here. They're the guys that will lead. Here's a return man back here, and he wants to get up and get in behind these guys. See, the wedge looks, and they look back, and they wait until the ball's caught. Now they're going to turn, and boom, they just start picking off guys. And then Clayton Holmes wants to get right into that area behind the wedge where they pick off those guys. So you have a front line, then you have a 4-man wedge, then you have 2 deep guys.
First and 10, Dallas at their own 18. Aikman. Pass is almost picked off by Bo Orlando. He almost jumped the slant pattern from Aikman to Urban.
Orlando's right here. He's going to read that thing perfectly. I mean, he's going to read that, and he gets the jump right there. And it looked like it surprised him more than anything. He was there like he was lined up playing man coverage, and he was really playing zone. He was working out into that flat area right where Troy Aikman threw it.
2nd and 10. Emmitt Smith. For about 5. Dennis Gibson and Lewis Bush made the stop. Emmitt Smith scored 2 touchdowns in the first half. 88 career touchdowns, including those 2. Broke Tony Dorsett's record, Cowboy record of 86. 3 wide receivers, 3rd and 6. Chargers showing a blitz, but they don't bring anybody. Incomplete from Aikman, intended for Novacek. Rodney Harrison helped to break it up, and the Cowboys will have to punt.
And you can tell that that's what the Chargers talked about at halftime. You know, that we're going to kick off. Let's get a good kickoff and get him in a 3-and-out situation. You know, get Troy Aikman out of rhythm. He had perfect rhythm, was almost perfect that first half. Let's knock him out of it the first time he comes out this half.
John Jett back to punt for Dallas. Coleman back deep for San Diego. Not much wind. Jett gets off a good kick. Dandy chases Coleman all the way back to the 21. And Coleman is swarmed on by the coverage, which is very effective. Dale Hellestrade, who snapped it, one of the first ones down. 14-2, Dallas leading San Diego. Harmon's in. Gilbert gives to Harmon. Harmon off to the races. Ronnie Harmon, who's not supposed to be runner, is a very effective runner. Touchdown San Diego, 48 yards.
That's why Ronnie Harmon's the most valuable player on this Charger team. Even though you look at the starting lineup, he doesn't start. All these fans know who Ronnie Harmon is. This is a heck of a run, Pat.
It really is.
Watch this. He's going to start the ball, and he's going to start up to the inside. You see him start in here to the left side, up the middle. Then he's going to bounce it all the way outside to the right. He started to the left side, went to the middle, all the way to the right side. A couple of missed tackles in there, but a heck of a run by Ronnie Harmon.
And a good stiff arm by Ronnie Harmon on Brock Marion. Carney for the extra point. Gilbert holding. Flag on the play. The extra point is good.
That was the thing. The Chargers had all those bad things happen to them in the first half, but at 14-2, they were still in this game. Now they go boom, they get the touchdown.
Offside. Defense number 58. Extra point is good. Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Dixon Edwards was offside. The Chargers get right back into this contest. 14-9. 11:40 left in the third.
Let's watch that run of Ronnie Harmon again on the clicker here. Now watch, he's starting to the left. Then he's going to move to the middle. Then watch him use his right arm for balance. He got the ball in his left hand, and he uses a right arm for balance to get him outside. He makes Darren Woodson miss right here. And right here he has Brock Marion. Just that little left hand, he gets it in there and pushes him down, and then just takes it off to the end zone. That was a heck of a run.
Really?
Started to the left, went to the middle, ended up all the way out to the right side.
So it's 14-9.
You see how he had that right hand out there? He had the ball in his left hand, and he used his right hand for balance and speed. He ran it like he was a windmill.
Harney to kick off. Clayton Holmes deep for Dallas. down there by Brock Marion.
See, and that all started with defense, Pat. I think the Chargers really had a little change in there in the locker room at halftime because it started with a good kickoff, then good defense. They come in and they had a 3-and-out. They got the ball back, and then the Chargers on offense, and they just took it back down and scored.
Everybody did their job. First of all, the special teams, as you pointed out. And then they started to keep the ball on the ground with Means and then with Harmon. 14-9, Cowboys ball their own 20. Emmett Smith. Cut down in the backfield by Willie Clark. Good tackle by Clark.
I think someone had a little talking to this Charger defense at halftime because this is a different group in these first two series. I mean, they're up there, they're pressing, they're gang tackling, they're pursuing. This is Dave Adolph here. Look, he has so many. He's a defense coordinator. He has so many defenses. Pat, he has them on both wrists. He got his left wrist defenses and his right wrist defenses.
2nd and 12. Novacek in motion. Aikman to throw. To Johnston. And Darrell Johnston out of bounds at about the 22. Dwayne Harper first there.
You know, it's funny. In the first half, you could feel that all the speed and tempo and rhythm was with the Dallas Cowboys. They only got 14 points. And so far in this half, you feel that all the speed and rhythm and tempo is with the San Diego Chargers.
3rd and about 8. Make it 7.
Chargers got too many guys on the field.
Junior Seau. Pass is complete to Kevin Williams. That should be enough for a first down. Just barely.
Yeah, they ended up okay. They'd gone to their nickel defense, and they took 3 players out. Then they put 4 in, and then they ended up with just 3. Now they're making the substitutions again. That's what this football has really gotten into, the situation substitution, where just about every down on most teams you have a different group of players.
That's one of the biggest change in the game over the years. Outside Emmett Smith. And the Chargers are up in good shape in a hurry. Bush.
Anytime you get a guy in the open field, we always said you want to form a triangle around him. You want to have a guy right in front of him and a guy on either side. And that time the Chargers put a triangle on Emmitt Smith. Now watch Emmitt Smith here. He's going to come out of the backfield and right, catch the ball, and if we can stop it right here, here's a triangle. Here's the outside. Here's the inside who'll be right in front of him. And then you have the third part of the triangle is a little more to the left. They boom, boom, boom. You give them no place to go.
2nd and 10. Novacek. Cut down at the 40 by Terrence Shaw. Not enough for a first down for the Cowboys.
That was a good tackle by Shaw, which will create a short yardage situation here for the Cowboys.
8:40 left to play in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 1, 14-9 Dallas.
With a big offensive line like the Cowboys have and a runner like Emmitt Smith, they're pretty effective in this situation, that combination, and I'm sure we're going to see it.
2 tight ends, Kendall Watkins. The big blocker, this is Emmitt Smith. First down at the 45. Junior Seau on the bottom of the pile.
You know, that's why Emmitt Smith has to be so good. I mean, it's short yardage. You know that he's going to get the ball. Everyone is keying on him. You know, all you have to do is follow Moose Johnston because he's going to lead him, and he still gets a first down. There's nothing you can do about it. To me, that's greatness.
He's so elusive and so strong. This is not good.
Well, they haven't had a lot of success running on first down, but they've had a lot of success passing on first down, which means the Chargers are selling out on first down run.
On first down, Aikman gives to Smith, and he's hit in the backfield by John Perella.
That's the way to stop him. You have to get the penetration. And you don't even let him get started. I mean, you're going to see the penetration come right to this point here. That's where Emmitt Smith is trying to go. Perella just gets right across the line of scrimmage. He's right in the backfield there. Ray Donaldson was blocking him. He just kind of blocked him right into Emmitt Smith.
So it's 2nd down and 13. Let's see if Aikman has time. Yes, he does. Kevin Williams. Pass is caught. And it's a catch. Chargers don't agree. Kevin Williams got the reception on the Chargers side of the field.
And it all started with what you said. See if he has time. He does have time. Here's Kevin Williams, man-to-man. See, he makes a quick move, like he fakes like he's going to the inside, goes to the outside, uses his left arm, just like Michael Irvin, to push off, and then Troy Aikman throws a perfect pass.
Watch this. Is he in bounds?
He has control there. Left foot. Now, where's that right foot come down? Yep. He was in bounds. They kind of held it there, you know, for suspense.
Irvin in motion. Aikman hits Emmitt Smith. Emmitt juggled at a moment. He's stopped by Bush.
You know, that guy that was beaten on that play, that Mark Montroe, number 40, he's really a rookie who didn't play much. He's from Canada.
Right.
Played at a school called Concordia. And he's the same guy that was playing that same corner, that same position on Monday night that they went to work on.
2nd down. Dallas ball at the San Diego 28. Emmitt Smith to about the 16. Bo Orlando tripped him up.
Yeah, we have that stat where Emmitt Smith has gained more yards before he's hit than he does after he's hit, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't get hit. I said that to him, and he said, my body tells me I've been hit a lot. Well, the thing is, the stat says that, you know, that he's still going to get hit at the end, but he gets a lot of yards like that there before he even gets hit.
He got 1st down yardage. Moose Johnston moves in motion to the left. Aikman will throw it. Intended for Emmitt Smith, deflected.
Yeah, what we were just talking about here on Emmitt Smith. Now, this is for the year before they have contact. In other words, he runs the ball, and before they have contact, he's gained 446 yards. After contact, you know, after he's been hit and he keeps running, 320. But at the end of every run, there's going to be a whole lot of contact.
Oh, sure.
I mean, this guy's a man. I mean, he gets, I'll tell you, when he comes off a football field, because he plays every down, and he plays hard every down, he knows he's been in a game.
3 wide receivers, and Novacek moves to his right. This is Emmitt Smith. Down to about the 9, maybe the 8. Bo Orlando made the stop.
You know, a lot of times, I remember a few weeks ago, Daryl Johnston was saying that you don't count up how Emmitt Smith is doing until the game's over.
Right.
Because sometimes he'll be under control that, you know, first quarter, sometimes the first half, and then at some point, he's going to get going, and they're going to get on that roll, and they're just going to keep feeding him. We may be at that point right now.
I think so. 3rd and 2. Emmitt again. Down at about the 1-foot line by Junior Seau.
This guy's just a great player. I mean, you know, everyone knows he's going to do it. I mean, you have Junior Seau, you got those big defensive linemen in there. Everyone is going to try and stop this guy. He's the only guy in the backfield. You look, he runs a little delay. He just makes a move there, makes him miss, makes a move there, makes a little dip back into the inside and gets right down to the goal line. How do you do that?
How do you know where everybody is?
I mean, you know, it's all that package of vision, peripheral, power, all the P's, peripheral, power.
A lot of P's. Popping. Barry Switzer. To 9. And they're about to go in again. This game summary brought to you by Budweiser. Dallas, no turnovers. That's a big stat. Aikman, 19 out of 26, 204 yards. Ronnie Harmon had that 48-yard touchdown run to get the Chargers back into it. They scored first, the Chargers did, on a safety. Aikman was tackled in the end zone. First and goal at the 1-foot line. 2 tight ends. Darrell Johnson, touchdown, the Moose.
Michael Irvin says, I'm going to go out there and congratulate this one myself. We don't get a lot of it, but I'm going to go do it.
I forgot my hat.
He forgot his helmet. I don't know what he's going to do when he gets in there. I think what happened, I think they're going for 2 points. That's what it is. And someone said 2 points. Michael Irvin, I thought he was going in to congratulate. He was going in to play.
We're going for 2. You need a helmet.
Yeah. He ran in there. So I would bet the play is not to Michael Irvin.
Howard!
Aikman. No, beg your pardon. Flag on the play. It was to Michael Irvin. And he grabbed his ankle.
And maybe he got so excited when they said 2 points, run that slant in there. He just didn't look like he was ready for it. The fact that he forgot to bring his hat out there.
And then hurt his ankle.
With a 2-point conversion, you know, they have that card and it tells them every situation.
Here's what the chart says about when you go for 2.
If you're ahead by 1, 4, 5, 12.
59.
15 or 19.
Team left the field through the end zone. By rule, you must leave on your sideline. We will retry. Penalty, half the distance to the goal line.
They'll retry. Why would they retry?
Because what happens is the Charger went out the back end. He didn't come off the field.
Right.
So then and the pass was incomplete. So then
what?
they get
I thought he caught the pass.
No.
Emmitt Smith. Flag on the play. Emmitt's hit out of bounds and his ankle buckled. But he's okay. Going to be holding against the Cowboys.
And now the Cowboys are going to kick this one.
Well, did he make it? I don't think Emmitt got in, so maybe they take the play.
Yeah, that's right. If he didn't get in, then they're not going to be able to kick it. You only get 1 try at it.
Offense, number 61, will penalize 10 yards from the 1-yard line. Retry.
Well, they will retry.
Yeah, but if the ball doesn't get in, why would you let them retry?
That's what I'm wondering.
If you stopped them, then you don't do it. I mean, because he didn't get in. I don't think they. No. See, the ball, he changed hands. He put the ball in his left hand. You see, the ball is there, and he's out of bounds. Yeah, so he wasn't in, so I don't know why the Chargers shouldn't do this. They should just say no. Because they get 1 try for 2 points. They didn't make it. Now, why would you give them another try?
The ball didn't cross.
No, and I'm sure they didn't call it a touchdown.
He got his foot across. In any case.
But it's where the ball is when the foot goes out of bounds.
Right. And Bonio's extra point attempt is not good.
Well, then it's all right because he shouldn't have even had the chance. They had like 3 chances at that.
So
one they shouldn't have had.
20-9. 3:40 left in the 3rd quarter. Outside the 35, about the 36.
After he's hit for the first time.
Gilbert fakes to me. Gets the pass complete to Tony Martin.
I think that's Tony Martin's first pass, and Tony Martin is a leading wide receiver in the AFC.
He gets the carry, his 21st of the day. Flag on the play. In the area of holding,
which is the greatest drive stopper in football. And it used to be 15 yards, and I used to always say that as a coach. You get a drive, you're going, and you get that doggone holding penalty, and it would stop every drive you ever got.
This is Ronnie Harmon, who scored the Chargers touchdown on a 48-yard touchdown sprint, stopped by Leon Lett.
So he's carrying 6 pounds on top of his head.
Here's Gilbert to Harmon. And Harmon gets to the 34-yard line. And that'll be enough for a Charger first down.
And I think Charles Haley got to Gilbert just as he threw that one. And he's getting the pressure. Watch Haley here. He's going to come from this side. Tony Tolbert is coming from that side. And they're going to meet right around Gail Gilbert. Watch Haley. See, he's coming from his backside. Tolbert was coming from his front side. And whoop, that's what you call a decleater.
They also call it first down, San Diego. Means is the deep back. The handoff is to Means, hit behind the line by Leon Lett. The big cat.
Yeah, it's tough to run in.
Gilbert back to throw it. Has some time this time. Pass bounced off the hands of Papunu. Almost to Martin. But it's incomplete after all that.
You know, Papuno went to Weber State.
Yep.
And he was a leading receiver in the nation. In fact, of all time, I think he's the 3rd leading college receiver.
Motion 3rd and 12. Gilbert got a man wide open. They're waving their arms, no signal for a touchdown. Now
they threw the hat. I think he went out of bounds.
He did.
Now, if you're pushed out of bounds, you can come back in and catch the ball. If you go out of bounds, you can't come back in and catch the ball. Now, see out there, it's up on top. You see, he goes out of bounds right there. He's running out of bounds, comes back in and catches the ball. That's going to be illegal. That was Sean Jefferson. Now, if he was pushed out of bounds, then he can come back in bounds.
He was pushed way up after he first started to make his break.
Yeah, and he's saying that he was pushed. You see, that's his argument, that he was pushed out of bounds. That's a new rule issue. If you're pushed out of bounds, you can come back in and catch. If you weren't pushed out of bounds, you can't come back in.
Look at Harry Swain getting between Jefferson and the officials. There was a flag on the play down inside the 10, and was a hat where he went out of bounds.
I think the same guy threw the flag and the hat.
The touching. The player went out of bounds without being contacted. Loss of down, 4th down.
Yeah, see, the hat just means that he went out of bounds, and the flag was for the penalty. You see, he's going to be hit right there. Now he's still in bounds. Now you can see right there when he goes out of bounds, he wasn't pushed out of bounds. You see, he's running out of bounds. Then he comes back in. So the hat went down. You see, just that he was out, then the fact that he caught the ball, then that was the penalty. Again, and I'm sure Sean Jefferson is arguing because he was hit initially coming off the line of scrimmage.
And I'm sure that's his argument.
Yeah, that he was pushed out of bounds.
4th and 12, and they're going for it. 3 wide receivers plus Ronnie Harmon. No blitz from Dallas, a 4-man rush. Gilbert gets good, get rid of it. Catch is made, I believe, but not enough for the first.
Again, you have to give that one to Charles Haley.
Yep.
Because he didn't have time. I mean, when you're 4th and 12, you need time. And when you have Charles Haley coming like this, he's not going to give you the time. Watch that. You see, from now on, he had to throw the ball, and he had to throw it short of the first down anyway.
And Larry Brown made the stop.
I'll bet you that bear shakes. Somewhere when he comes out, he has to shake that water off. I guess we can't stay with him. Oh, there he goes.
There you are.
I know. That's one thing that you can't train an animal to do is when they get wet to not shake.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Aikman to Irvin. And right now, again, let's go to Hollywood for a McDonald's game break. Murphy Stadium, where the Cowboys lead San Diego 20-9, 2nd and 2. Cowboys at their own 38. Blitz coming. Cowboys read it. So did Emmitt Smith. There's a flag down way back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and that's again in the area where they call offensive holding. You know, the thing about it, though, is that flag was thrown in the area of offensive holding about 10 seconds after Emmitt Smith went through the hole.
Offense, number 61, 10-yard penalty. Repeat
They
the down.
didn't throw the flag till Emmitt was already in Charger territory.
He was about 15 yards downfield. This is the guy they called it on, Nate Newton. But again, you watch Nate block there. He got that left arm up in there. That's a pretty good block. And then, heck, I mean, the guy went by, and if he saw anything after that, that's getting picky. I mean, you got to let those big 330-pound guys grunt like that. That's like saying that grizzly bear can't shake after he gets out of the water. What are you talking about? You got to let him shake.
Do whatever he wants to. 2nd and 9.
I'll tell you, Nate wasn't going to move that time. You see him?
Sean Lee jumped.
Yeah, he moved. He was lined up over Nate Newton, and Nate said, "Okay, you got me for holding. I don't think I held, but you're not going to get me on this one."
Encroachment, defense, number 98. Contact prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Watch Nate there. He's not going to move, Pat. I mean, the guy in front of him is going to go. He's going to go. Nate's going to stay there. No, he's not going to. You're not going to get him. No coach is going to say, "Hey, Nate, you move." But they're going to let, like Sean Lee jump off sides and say, "Nate pulled you off sides." Nate's going to stay there to prove I am innocent.
Yeah, first thing he did was pull up his pants.
Always will.
2nd down. Smith about 4 this time. Stopped by Seau.
Yeah, the Cowboys are going to be in great position. You know, when they get through this game, then next week they have a bye, and then they're going to get, Deion Sanders, and that'll, I think, really solidify this defense.
And Darren Smith.
And then, they play Atlanta, where they're going to need all their defensive backs, because Atlanta plays those 4 wide receivers. I think they're in pretty good position.
3rd and 4. That's Novacek on the move. Flag on the play as Aikman stays in there. Gets the ball to Michael Irvin, who's thrown backwards, but there was a flag, as I think the Chargers jumped too soon.
The Chargers, just anything that you can do wrong or anything that you can do that is an undisciplinary look are the types of things the Chargers have done today. I mean, I know Bobby Ross is a disciplinarian. He's a heck of a coach. He's solid.
98 in the neutral zone during the snap. 5-yard penalty.
Well, it's not just today.
Make it 1st down.
No, it's a whole season. They were 29th in the league in penalties. And then the turnover, I mean, you add those 2 things. Yeah, and a year ago the Chargers were in the Super Bowl, but this year they just aren't together, and they're just self-destructing.
Been penalized 9 times today. Far too many. Here's Aikman. Going deep for Irvin, who had it and dropped it, and there's a flag on the play. He had to come back.
Yeah, I was just thinking that I was surprised that they hadn't gone deep more today, because they've been going those short and the short underneath.
Interference, defense, number 31.
The interference call against Willie
First
Clark.
down, spot of the foul.
That's Willie Clark getting there before the ball gets there. See, after the ball gets there, then it would be okay.
Yep.
But I think the ball was short. Clark was beaten by a step, and he ran into Michael Irvin when he had to come back and wait for the ball.
And then he grabbed him.
And now and then he's talking into his helmet. And he's talking to the ground. What's he talking about?
Talking to whomever. 1st and 10 after the penalty against the Chargers.
You can get that penalty a lot by throwing it up and then throwing it short and having the guy run into your guy.
Darrell Johnston. About 8 down to the 13-yard line of San Diego.
I think the Cowboys are cutting the moose loose today. You know, usually he's the blocking back, and he leads. And this time they just give him the ball, and he makes a cut back there just like Emmitt Smith does.
Well,
no, it was a little slower, and it wasn't quite as hippie.
He made a cutback. You're right.
Yeah, no, he made a nice little cutback for a guy that weighs 242 pounds. He changed direction.
2nd and 1. First down, just outside the 10.
The Cowboys are just really taking it to him now. I mean, they got control that, the offensive line, the mixture, of run and pass, giving the ball here, giving the ball there.
First down, Cowboys at the San Diego 11.
Nate Newton's probably pretty happy that his holding penalty didn't kill the drive.
Here's Emmitt Smith inside the 10. Out of bounds at about the 5.
You just wonder how this guy can keep doing it. I mean, Emmitt Smith is one of those guys that doesn't take a breather. I mean, he's not out of there on passing downs. He's not out of there in short yardage or goal line or if they blitz or anything. I mean, he just plays every down. This guy is a football player.
When he has carried 20 times, the Cowboys' record is 55-6.
I think when he just plays.
Yeah.
I think if Emmitt Smith plays, their record's that.
They're at the 5. Emmitt Smith again. Chased by the Chargers and no place to go this time. Lost yardage as he slipped down trying to cut back.
Did you see that shot of him in the huddle? He's wearing a necklace. I mean, he's wearing, what do you call those where you have he has a gold chain, number 22 was hanging down in front. So if he doesn't see his number on his jersey or his shoulder pads, he can look on his neck. He has 22 in gold around his neck. I just saw it. Watch it right here. See that there? I just saw it. Look at that. So wherever you're looking, you know what your number is. You always have your number on your person. You take the jersey off, you always got your number with you.
Looks like it might be heavy, too.
Yeah, did you see that? That was dangling in the huddle.
Yeah. Here's Aikman. Pass incomplete. Intended for Emmitt Smith, was deflected. 5:31 left to play. 20-9 Dallas. 4th down, and we'll see Bonio.
Barry Switzer's thinking that, that when you get down there, you like to get the ball in the end zone. You know that maybe you don't need it this time, but just to be a proficient team.
This will be a 30-yard field goal attempt by Chris Bonio. And it's good. And Dallas leads now 23-9 with 5:27 left to play. The Cowboys trying to improve to 6-1. Emmitt Smith gets a rest, and Sherman Williams and David Lang as the Moose also gets a rest. Sherman Williams, number 20. Aikman still the quarterback. Dennis Bush made the stop.
I was just going to say, I think the Cowboys are starting some of the Cowboys are starting their bye week right now.
Yeah.
They get to rest the rest of this game. They have next week off and play 2 weeks from today against the Atlanta Falcons.
In Atlanta.
There's a guy who gives everything he has to a game, and he can take those gloves off.
Here is Alex Spanos, the owner of the San Diego Chargers. A fine gentleman.
Yeah, you know, and he's a good friend of Bob Hope's, and you know, and they would do these charity things, and Bob Hope taught him how to do this.
Give me that old soft shoe. I mean that old soft
Yeah, we talked about rhythm, and he's got some.
Yeah, that was Alex Spanos on the left and Bob Hope on the right. They're best friends, and usually Bob Hope comes to these games and sits up in the box with Alex Spanos, the owner of the Chargers.
Sherman Williams deep. He gets the carry. Swings outside the 20. Mark Tooney.
Looks like he's talking about his shoulder.
Or his back. He's had some back problems. Maybe. I don't know. 23-9. Dallas leading San Diego. We'll get the 2-minute warning. The Chargers are out of timeouts. Dallas has 2 left. But that doesn't matter.
And Troy Aikman is walking over to the sideline slowly. He can't even do that with much zeal.
Don't forget, following football, space above and beyond. 2 minutes left, 23-9 Dallas. Space above and beyond, except on the West Coast. Here at Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego scored first on a safety. But Aikman was tackled in the end zone. Then the Cowboys went ahead, taking advantage of the Chargers' turnovers. Emmitt Smith scored twice, short runs. Then Darrell Johnston, the 3rd Cowboy touchdown with a short run. Bonio with a field goal. That's been it. Sherman Williams.
Yeah, we were talking about with the score 23-9, you know, a minute 52 seconds, why Troy Aikman is still in there, and the answer is probably because he's Troy Aikman.
Yep.
And I'm sure that someone said, okay, let's let Wade Wilson finish this game out or something. And he said no. He said, I started it. I'm in here. I'll finish it.
We got a break coming up.
Yeah,
I'll be well.
Yeah, knowing him, I mean, he's hard-headed. I mean, I'm sure that, you know, someone thought it, and he said, no, he'll do it his way. I got us in this thing, and I'll get us out and finish us up.
3rd and 4. Sherman Williams again. Cuts back. Will not get the first down. Stopped by Junior Seau. Those two expected to play against Atlanta when the Cowboys get back into action. Deion Sanders and Darren Smith. And to an already fine quality team, you add this guy.
Yeah, this was Deion before the game. He came out here. He was getting cheers here in the pregame warm-ups. He came out here before the Cowboys did and did this kind of exercise. And he still doesn't look like to me that ankle is not tender.
Well, it's got to be after surgery.
Yeah, and but, you know, as someone said, Deion Sanders on one ankle is, Ernie Zampese said it, the best corner he's ever seen on one ankle.
And when you get Darren Smith back, the ball comes loose, the scramble for it. It's 4th down anyway. Junior Seau. You had really 2 really high quality players to an already good football team.
Junior Seau, I think, has been a very frustrating day for him because, you know, they wanted to stop the Cowboys and they just weren't able to do it. There's his wife Gina, who was due yesterday. In fact, they know what the baby is. The baby is a boy. They already have him named. His name is Jake Ryan Seau.
J.R.
J.R., yeah. So there'll be two juniors, junior and junior.
Well, they'll call him JR. Gilbert throws it to Papunu. Papunu to the 42. First down Chargers, but they have no timeouts. And the clock running with now 10 seconds left to play, and Dallas will defeat the San Diego Chargers unless they stop the clock right here, and they're still going to defeat them no matter what they do. 1 second to go.
The old fake throw down.
Here it comes.
And he faked his own guys. His own guys didn't even run out for a pattern. He just had one guy going out. The old fake throw down. Boy, that didn't work.
No.
They forgot to run a pattern, and they forgot to block.
They forgot the charging Cowboy. So the Cowboys win. They'll have a bye next week. Following football comes coverage of space and beyond, except on the West Coast.